All right, so let's get started. Today I'm talking with Heather, and Heather is the co-instructor on our aromatherapy courses. So I'm really excited to talk with her today and give you a little more insight on those courses. So Heather, just give us a little bit of your background and what got you interested in aromatherapy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. So, my journey with aromatherapy started about 15 years ago, and I started using essential oils, and I loved every aspect about it. So, I got more curious, and through the years, I just got better at using them and then decided to go ahead and get certified. So, I took a certification course, and with that being said, I just continued my education, and now I'm really excited to share that with others.
Great. So we have actually four courses now. So we have a that you and I have done. So we have the equine certification course. So for those that want to learn how to do this with horses, and that's geared more for professionals. We also have the small animal certification course, which covers dogs and cats. And then we also created courses for pet owners. So if you're a horse owner, a dog owner, and you want to learn how to use this on your animals, we have courses for you too. But Heather, just real briefly, tell our viewers basically, I guess, why would they want to use this? Like, why would they want to utilize essential oils with their horse, dog, or cat?
Yeah, actually, so that's a really good question because I get that a lot. And my answer is there is room for sort of all treatments, whether it's holistic or medical, or, as a vet tech, I do things very differently in that world. And so having the knowledge of both is really, really handy. And having medicine in both spaces is also really handy. With oils, though, you can save a lot of money by not bringing your animals to the vet. So having sort of another holistic toolkit in your barn or in your home, or using those types of remedies, is really helpful, and also it's really natural. So there's room for both, but aromatherapy is also really, really fun, and it's healing too. So there's lots of aspects that I love about it.
So, how would owners be using this with their animals? Would the animals just be smelling it? Do they put it topically on them? What's the most common application?
So, safety is a big concern when we're talking about oils and animals, whether it's horses or cats or dogs or even rabbits, birds, anything you can use oils on, but safety comes into play because they're used differently with each animal and each application. So, they you can use the smelling, the aromatherapy part of it, where they're inhaling the oil, or you can do it topically, and you can use it in a diffuser. There's several different ways, and that's where the certification comes in, or the knowledge, because you'll learn how to use each oil or not to use an oil, because some can be toxic to animals, and how to use whichever application would be appropriate for that particular remedy and oil itself.
Okay. So now, if somebody's a professional and they're thinking about adding aromatherapy to their practice, what would the benefit be of adding it? Like, what would the most common, like, say that they're an equine massage therapist, what would they mostly be utilizing the aromatherapy, the essential oils for?
Well, there's a lot of healing benefits with oils. And so there's a wealth of knowledge to learn. So even though I'm certified, I'm still learning. And they're just in any world, basically, your knowledge never stops. And so you can really keep your continuing education by learning applications and adding that to your practice of whatever you're doing. And basically, the learning never stops. So I encourage everyone to get as many certifications as possible, because your knowledge base just keeps expanding.
Yeah, and I think for me personally, sometimes if you have, let's say a horse, for example, that is a little nervous about what you're doing, if you put, an essential oil like a lot of horses like peppermint or lavender on your hand or, just kind of have it where they can smell it, it calms them down and they respond
Right.
well to that.
Well, it's really handy to have this knowledge. I call it in your toolbox, so to speak, because if you're doing something and then something else happens, you have options. So that's a really perfect example. If your horse is nervous and you're trying to give them a massage, or, even with colic, you can give your horses a remedy for colic before the vet gets there. So it can help calm them down, and it can even help with the symptoms, things like that. So it's just real, it's really fun, first of all, but the knowledge in that space can be really, really handy.
So give us an example of a case that you did of a horse that you utilize essential oils. What would an example be?
Yeah, my go-to is colic. So if you're in the horse world, you know colic is not fun to experience for the horse owner or the horse itself, and actually can lead to death. And so we really want to understand what colic is, but also when you call the vet, they can't always get there right away. And sometimes if you have the knowledge like I do, I can gauge where the colic is at. And so I've literally used oils and had a remedy for colic and not had to call the vet. I was able to pull my horse through it. So there's that option, but I don't recommend that. I mean, you really want to be very, very educated in that space in order to determine that, but it can help quite a bit with using an oil remedy. So that is one of my favorite uses of oils.
Yeah, I think also like what you were saying, oftentimes the vet can't get there right away. So it provides the owner with something that can maybe provide the horse with a little bit of relief while they're waiting.
Right.
And
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, when you're dealing with colic, if it's a gas colic or a mild impaction, stuff like that can be really beneficial. But if you're dealing with a bad impaction or any kind of twist of the gut, obviously essential oils won't fix it. But again, you can calm the horse while you're either getting them to the hospital or waiting for your vet to arrive. So yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool. So now what would an example be with small animals? What's one thing that you comes to mind, a case?
So the first thing that comes to my mind is sometimes with dogs, they're really nervous about riding in the car. So again, that's another example on how you can use lavender to calm your pet, and they're just more relaxed riding in the car. Maybe it'll prevent them from throwing up in your car because they're so nervous. And so yeah, there's lavender I love. It is a go-to oil for me for both small and large animals, and it's really versatile and it's really safe. So I love lavender. It's a calming oil, and I use it even like with fireworks. If it's 4th of July, you can use it for that. So lots of uses for lavender and small animals.
Let's talk about cats. So, do you utilize essential oils on cats, and what are some of the issues with using it on cats?
Yes. So I actually don't have cats, but I do have knowledge with oils and cats. And cats are they're a different animal, so to speak. You want to be educated on what to use with cats because some of the oils can be toxic to them or they can be sensitive. So there is animal desk references that you can buy that I really encourage anyone in the oil space, if you're educating yourself or getting certified or want to use oils, refer to that animal desk and it'll tell you exactly how to use oils and what to avoid.
Okay. Now, also, you were talking before about safely using oils. So, what do you need to do to make sure that you're safely applying it to the dog or the horse, whatever animal you're using it on?
Yeah. Well, first, again, the animal desk reference is going to be really handy and helpful. So you can read about the oil itself, which one you want to use and for what you're trying to treat. But basically, dilution is the key. So you want to learn the dilution chart and make sure that you're diluting the oil correctly for whatever that application may be. And you always want to dilute oils first when you're first using oils with any animal, just to make sure there isn't any type of reaction, allergies, or in just general sense, if the animal doesn't like that oil, they may be having a reaction to the oil and not actually the application. So you want to make sure that you're getting the A-OK from the animal, first of all, before using it. And then that also falls into the safety category.
Okay, so if somebody takes the course, what do you cover in the course?
It's an all-inclusive course. We cover chemistry, we cover history, we cover application use, we cover properties of the oils itself, the how to use each oil, what to avoid, safety. It's really, we cover all the bases.
Great. And then do you have a particular brand of oil that you recommend, or you talk about some different brands in the course?
Yeah, so that's actually a topic we discuss as well. And when you're purchasing oils, you do want to educate yourself on where you're buying them. I personally like to shop with Melaleuca, the wellness company. And the reason being is I trust the company and they are pure. So the brand is actually called Pure. And with oils that can be adulterated, that is a problem. And so a lot of times when they say in the industry, oh, that oil is toxic to that animal, it's actually not the oil itself. It's the components that they put in the oil that makes the animal allergic. So it's not actually the essential oil itself. Yeah, so we want to be really, really careful where we buy our oils and make sure that we're not just shopping at an online supplier. We don't know how the oil is made up. And there's also chemistry tests that you can ask for from the company just to make sure that they are pure oils.
Yeah, that's a really good point because I think I saw a study where it was tea tree oil, I believe, but the toxicity in cats was actually because it was adulterated, like you said. It wasn't a pure tea tree oil, and it did cause some deaths in cats. But like you
Right.
said, if it's essential, normally we don't see those toxicities when we use it with animals. But then in the course, you also cover like different dilutions too, and how important the dilution is.
Right. Yeah. So also with the Melaleuca brand, the tea tree oil comes in different applications. So there's Melagel where it's actually in a gel, and that is really handy. I've used that on my dog's paws, like if they have a cut or some. We have sandburrs where we live, and so sometimes they get stuck in the dog's paw and they get sensitive. One time I was hiking and my dog ran into a pile of fire ants and she was limping and in pain, and I had that Melagel with me and I just put that on there. So it's not always the oil itself. That's where the certification comes in, where you really know how to use the oils. Just because online it says that it's toxic, there's way more to the story than that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, cool. So, anything else you can think of about the courses that our viewers would want to know about, or anything about essential oils in general?
Yeah. Well, I just encourage everybody to look at the essential oil space in general. It's really fun. And if it's not certification is not something that you're really gearing towards, definitely take the other course because these are really fun and handy to have on hand. So I can't tell you how many times I've avoided vet bills by just having the oils and being able to use those instead of rushing to the emergency vet. Or for example, you can learn how to use other remedies too. So I thought that my dog had valley fever and she was coughing really. It was like a really deep cough. And I just made up a remedy with oils and honey and she's perfect. So I don't know if it was allergies or whatever, but generally people would have probably brought their dog to the vet and I didn't. And she's perfectly fine. So that's where the education comes in. But I feel confident, where I am in education to do that. So that's really encouraging to take these courses so that you can, learn for yourself as well and save some money.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's just so many applications that you can use oils for, like you said, whether it's allergies, insect bites, mental well-being, like having a calming effect, helping with anxiety, different things of that nature. So definitely super cool stuff. Yeah, I hope everybody
Yeah,
checks
super
out.
fun.
Yeah, I hope they check out the course. And we do have free previews for those that want to kind of view it and see what the format is. But yeah, like I said, we have a course for horse owners, we have a course for dog and cat owners, and then we also have certification courses both in small animal and equine for professionals that want to add it to their practice, whatever their practice may be. So yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, Heather, so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk today, and hopefully we'll talk with you again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.